Thank you for tuning in to the Life of KG podcast. We are all about helping you guys in the beauty industry. Whether you're starting out in this industry or been in the business for years, we want to motivate you, educate you, and support you to grow. Enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Life of KG. So those of you that follow me on any social media or our blog, you will see that I was interviewed on the Farah Show last week. And the Farah Show is all about a mum's journey and their balance between work, life and looking after their children. And it's just really inspiring to hear all the mums' different stories and how they kind of do their thing. So I asked Farah if it was okay if I could use the episode on our channel so then my listeners could listen in as well. But those of you that are mums, check out her show. It's really, really good and inspiring to hear how other mums do it and kind of work their life around motherhood. And I know this maybe isn't industry based like the rest of our channel is, obviously about lashes and beauty, etc., etc. But I thought it would just help you with how I do my work-life balance, because it's all about how I kind of run my business alongside Lola Rose and how I make time for relationships or working out or just generally looking after myself. So it's a really, really different interview than what I have ever done before. So I wanted to share that. So here it is.
Welcome to the podcast, Katie. Now, tell us what you do. Tell us what you do. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh,
after a while, it's been on the calendar for a while.
Definitely.
In 2019.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're most welcome.
I'm Katie Godfrey, so I am the CEO and founder of KG Salons and KG Professional, and I'm also a business coach to the beauty industry as well. And I'm also, above everything, a mummy.
A mummy, yes. So tell us how you actually managed that. And tell us how you actually how did you make the business? How did it start?
Pretty long story, so I'll cut it as short as I can.
No, tell us everything.
It started all the way from back in school. Okay. So I left school at 13 due to bullying. Okay.
Oh wow.
So I
what kind of bullying? Just give us a little bit of a background. What the 13-year-old getting?
All verbal. So it was older girls, never anyone my age. It was always the older girls. It would be surrounding in corridors, in the toilets, outside of school. They would send letters through my postbox saying how they were going to bomb the house. If I went to the carnival, I'd be getting stabbed. What? It was all threats and fears. But as a 13-year-old, compared to these 15, 16-year-olds, I believed every word.
Of course you did.
So I become suicidal.
Oh my God.
I just hated life. It was a complete mess.
So your school years are not great memories.
No. Which then I did end up putting that on my little girl for a little bit when she first started school, because all I kept thinking about was this fear that I had, and you have to be very careful to separate it and don't put that anxiety on your children.
Yeah. But at the same time you can't help it because that's your DNA. It was just part of you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I left school at 13.
Okay.
So I left with no qualifications at all, and I kind of I've become a recluse in my own house. I was too scared to go out, and then I found modelling. So I started modelling from 13, 14 years old, and it got me networking online, talking to different photographers, different models, and then to get me out of the house I'd obviously be going on photo shoots, and they'd be in all London, Birmingham, Manchester City.
Okay, so you completely changed direction of your thinking.
Yeah, and it was good because that networking got me to still associate with people. They weren't my age. These are people that are in business and stuff like that. Yeah. But I was networking, so that's what's helped me later on in life, how to network and stuff.
Did you never, up until that stage, modelled at all, or anybody offered you nothing? No. Did you want to model?
Nothing that I thought I'd ever do.
Okay.
The kind of cliche story of got spotted on Oxford Street, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
And then I just went from that one photo shoot, building up my portfolio, to going to casting. So I was a hair model, I was fashion model, commercial, runway, so I'd done a bit of everything. And then as I got older, So by now I'm like 18 years old. So I've been modelling this whole time.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah. And that was my full-time job. I moved to London to pursue it.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it was
amazing.
absolutely amazing experience.
So from a child that's been bullied to now almost in a spotlight for everything good.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
The confidence that they had shot down because of the bullying, you'd built it all back up again.
Definitely.
Was that hard, that period?
Because I was literally on the floor, so I didn't think I was beautiful. Wasn't confident at all. I believed every single thing that these bullies told me.
Why were they bullying?
To this day, I don't know.
Really?
Obviously,
Okay.
as I'm older and more mature now, I'm going to pull it down to jealousy.
Okay.
Back then,
That's
I would
probably
never
more
have said that.
bigger. It is one of the big reasons, isn't it? For people, when they're not happy with themselves, they put it onto other people,
Definitely.
and that is what bullying really essentially is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Bringing the other person down to make yourself feel better.
Yes.
There's a big sign there that I don't like the way you look, or I want to look like you actually.
Yeah, definitely. And I would never have saw that back then.
No, of course you wouldn't have. Yeah.
As you get older, you realise these things. So yeah, with the model agency, I knew a lot of people within the industry. So my agents would then come to me and say, oh, okay, I need a model for this job. Do you know anyone else that can do it alongside you? And these agents would come to me asking that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to open my own model agency.
Oh my
so
goodness!
18, that's what I done.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Where are you living now?
I went back home.
Okay.
London was amazing, but I was broke.
Okay.
So all of my money
You
that
spent it out?
I was spending or going on to my rent. Like I
Yeah.
remember having like hardly no money because all my rent was extortionate, and I would get like a curry for like £12 and make it last like 4 days.
Wow. Gosh.
That was my thing, lasting curry for like 4 days.
Curry's your favourite, is it?
It wasn't, but it was the cheapest I could find. That would last me. So yeah, I become like really skinny. My mum used to come up and she used to be like, you need to come home. So I ended up just going back to my parents' house. Obviously I was so young, like I was 17 then. Going back to my parents' house, and I was working from my parents' office there. So
you've got a business mind from very young age.
Yeah, and I have no idea where it's come from.
Parents?
Like my dad does have a building company, but solo, so it's just him. So he goes out and does his own work. Is successful, does well.
Yeah.
My mum is she founded a charity years and years ago, which is really successful charity now. She's stepped down, but so she's been in business, but not for profit.
Okay.
So
But did you see? Do you think that was?
See that, yeah.
You saw that as you were
Yeah.
growing. Okay. So
Yeah,
that must have had some kind of impact for you to confidently open a model agency. I mean, that's a huge thing to do.
I've always said, because I left school with no qualifications, what the hell was I going to do?
So you had this pressure on to do something.
I had to do something because I wasn't the person that had ambitions of not doing anything with my life or going into a normal 9 to 5. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all.
But that wasn't
it's just
you.
not what I wanted. So I knew I had to do something. So opening the model agency was my first thing. I remember that day like it was yesterday, like shouting to my mum saying, can you be a secretary of the company? It's telling me I need a secretary.
So you sat there online looking at what you need to
registering my company.
Yeah. What's it called, your company?
KG Model Management.
Okay, so you've stuck with that name, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's all the way through all your businesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my actual salon that I've got now, which I'll come to, that still runs under KG Model Management because I never wanted to get rid of that name. So yeah,
so like a holding company for your businesses. Yeah. Okay.
So I opened up the agency, and that was from my parents' office, and I had girls literally working all around the world for me, like with different jobs, and it was really, really fun.
But this is all online.
All
you did
online.
that. Okay. Wow.
All online.
Okay.
I'd go to like the jobs sometimes and meet the models and stuff like that, but when the model, I don't know if the model agency has changed now, but back then it would be portfolio work. You get their headshots and stuff. You can send them on photo shoots, that type of thing. But I always wanted a base to meet my models, measure them, do headshots, etc., and have more of a relationship with them.
Did you do that yourself?
So I wanted to do that.
Okay.
So I decided I needed a base, and I knew that even though the agency was doing well, I needed more to be able to have big overheads for a premises. So I decided to find a premises and combine a tanning shop along with the model agency. So I found where my salon is now, and the beginning of it was a tanning shop, and then the back was my office and photographic studio. So I got to meet my models, do their measurements, their photos, etc., and I absolutely loved it.
And it actually brought in a bit more revenue because of the tanning shop.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how kind of KG Salon was born, like nearly 11 years ago now.
Wow, amazing. So did you you then stopped doing the modelling? Are you still?
So I was still modelling myself, and I was running the agency and the salon, but because we was in a new village that I didn't really know of, there was no salons back then. It was quite rare to see beauty salons. There's lots of hairdressers, but beauty salons was quite far and in between. Completely different now. The industry has evolved so much, but we had so many clients come in saying, oh, can you do this treatment, can you do that treatment? And back then we was literally just sunbeds, and we had one nail bar that we'd done nails every now and then. So I had to make the decision to make the rest of the building treatment rooms.
So as the demand increased, you decided to go with it rather than... That's really quite good that you wanted to play into. Yeah,
it was hard because part of me felt like a failure because I was shutting one business down, but then I wasn't, because another door opened.
Innovation, because you're thinking, my clients want this, how do I provide it?
And so I had to make that decision, and it was the best decision I'd ever made.
Really?
Yeah. The industry was changing anyway back then with the modelling agency. Some things I didn't want to get into, like glamour modelling and stuff like that, wasn't my thing. So it was time for a change anyway, and like I said, it's the best decision I'd done. So we ended up changing it. So we've got the 2 sunbeds, we've got 4 nail stations now, we've got the pedicure area, we've got 2 treatment rooms, but one's kind of slashed in half, so 3. So we've been able to make quite a big salon from the area.
Oh, where is it based?
Barton-le-Clay in Bedfordshire.
Oh, I know Barton-le-Clay. Oh, my friend Louise Morgan lives there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She used to live there with her 2 daughters, but they moved. But that's the only time I've heard of the name Barton-le-Clay. Okay, so you live down there as well?
I'm originally from Luton.
Okay.
And then for the last, I'd say, 8 years, I've been a bit of a traveller.
Okay.
So I've been jumping from area to area because I'm trying to figure out where I'll settle in. But then obviously when I had my little girl, I thought, well, I need to stop renting places for a year and going somewhere else. She's moved like 4 times in 4 years or something ridiculous. So we brought somewhere last year. So we're settled in Great Denham now.
Which is, how far are you from the
That's
salon?
Bedford, so I'm literally about half an hour away from the
Okay,
salon.
it's not that, it's on that route, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
And what are your visions for future for your business? What would you like to do?
My focus now has gone into training and developing other people. So I love helping others in business. I absolutely love it. So I love helping others in business, startups that... It's hard. Like, business is hard.
Really hard. If you don't know anything about it, like, you don't even know how to register a company. How do you go from there? So you may have a passion, you may have a desire, but you're like, I don't know how to start. So this is where you'll come into.
Definitely.
So you'll be able to help people with the same thing that you're doing?
Yeah, and because I do have so many stories over 10 years, I find it that I can inspire others quite easily just from my stories, and that gives them hope to keep pushing forward. And in my industry, in the beauty industry, it's very common now, because beauty is so popular, that we're getting beauticians or eyelash technicians that are amazing at their job, then think, okay, I need to now go and open a business or a salon, and they're not actually business minded. So they need a lot of business coaching, they need their mindset changing and that type of thing. So that's where I come in. So I'll help the startups there, or the new salon owners that don't know how to manage staff, or need to now, even though they were busy with their own column, they've now got a team of people who need to fill their column. So how are we going to do that? So that's kind of my newest business venture.
That's what you're concentrating on now.
That's what I'm concentrating on, and everything kind of slits it. Like, the salon obviously is the main model of the business. Then we've got the training and product range, which runs a lot alongside everything. So we specialise in eyelash extensions with that, because when I opened up the salon, I ended up doing training courses for myself, ended up learning the treatments, so then I can go on and teach. And eyelash extensions is what I specialised in. I won awards for being eyelash technician of the year and stuff like that. So I was like,
is it hard?
That. It's hard. A lot of people think you just stick eyelashes on people, but
it's
it's very different.
One at a time, and it's so precise. You have to be good at your motor skills, don't you?
Yeah,
really?
Definitely. It's very, very difficult. So now I teach that, and I love that. So that's helping. And people that come on our courses, it might be from a salon that people have recruited, so they want to bring it into a salon, or it might be, a lot of the time, stay-at-home mums that want to get back into work and work around their children, so they can do it from home.
For them,
So a mix of people
that actually come to that.
Okay. Yeah.
And how long does it take for a course?
A course is just a day's course.
Okay.
It's very, very intense.
Okay.
And you don't go about feeling very, very confident, because obviously it's so intense and there's a lot to
Practice,
learn.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but we offer the ongoing help and support. So
Okay.
students can get in touch with us anytime. They can send in their work for feedback and that type of thing. So we kind of hold our hand from the client for the whole journey.
Okay.
So
that used to be only one of you. So how did you develop a team? How did you take your first person on? Can you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first person was Chloe, and she still works for me to this day.
Awesome. Okay.
So I recruited her 6 months into the salon. She's now my salon manager, and I remember the salon was dead. Like, it wasn't like an overnight success or anything.
No.
The salon was quiet. Like, it was hard. Like, there was times where I wanted to go bankrupt, because it was just easier to just go and get that normal job.
So you went through days like this?
Yeah, my dad used to give me, because I was living from home, thank God. Then my dad used to give me like £40 a week just to like live on and get food.
Yeah.
So very, very different to how my life is now. I couldn't give up. It was easier to go bankrupt, but I couldn't give up. Otherwise, again, what the hell was I going to do? And I did have this passion for it. So yeah, I recruited Chloe first of all, and then until me and her were booked up, I then wouldn't go and recruit until that time.
Okay.
And then again, when that person was booked up, then I would recruit again, and then that's how it.
How did you trust the process of recruitment? Because when you got your own business, you almost find it difficult to bring the person that's going to be like you, show the same dedication, show the same commitment. How did you find her?
Finding a team is hard, like really, really hard, and I think recruiting and knowing who to recruit comes over time. When you've, like, in my time, I've had some amazing people work for me, and I'm thankful for every single person that has worked for me, but at the same time there's always some bad eggs, and then they come the salon or the working place not a nice experience, and it's about finding them within the interview process if you can. Chloe I recruited through a newspaper. You just wouldn't do that nowadays.
No,
like,
they don't even advertise, do they? Yeah.
Now it's going to be Indeed.com or Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's just, the interview process is really, really important for us. Then we get the people we like back for trade tests. Then they'll have 6-month probationary periods. Okay. So then we can kind of judge their skills, and they can obviously see if they like working with us as well within that 6 months. And then we go on to them. But I'm very hands-on with my team. I'd like to think that I offer them training a lot, so it's not just they're trained when they come in. There's ongoing training always, like even if they've been with me for 10 years, they're still getting training,
because new things are happening all the time.
Exactly. So you can't be stuck in your ways.
Are you do you schedule that then? You've got team training, and everybody you don't, there's no salon, there's no clients, but you're training you're train the trainer almost.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll do the training in-house, or I'll send them away on training. We're always doing regular team meetings to make sure everyone's on board. When especially in a salon, and like any business, the culture has to be right, and everyone has to be on the same culture, and that's really, really important.
Have you think your team has bought into the vision that you have?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I know that because I don't have to go there, and the salon's working perfectly. I like to go there, and I do go there. I'm not someone that's not hands-on. Like, I go there 2 times a week possibly. That's not because I have to. I like to go and take my laptop and work there. I like to interact with them. I like to see the clients. But the salon, I can go on holiday and the salon's working smoothly without me.
How do you feel? Isn't that amazing to actually achieve that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because that was hard to get to. There was times where I was no way being able to come out of that salon.
How many hours did you think when you're working the most? How many hours were you putting in?
I would say when I was working in the salon as a therapist and a salon owner, I was doing your 9 to 10 hour days in the salon, physically doing treatment, and then I'd go home and work on the business. So you would be working constantly other than bedtime.
Wow.
Whereas now I'd say I still am working them hours, but it's because I choose to.
Okay.
I'd say I'm very addicted to the business.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing to do
Workaholic,
that. But that's my choice, whereas when I was doing treatment, that wasn't my choice. I had to do the treatments, and then I had to go home and work on the business.
So then came your daughter.
Yes.
All of what you were doing. How did your life change?
Dramatically.
Did it? Tell us about that.
I remember I was desperate for a baby. Desperate. And Lola Rose come along, and during that, obviously being pregnant, when I fell pregnant, I had a full column of clients. So I thought, I'm the busiest person in the salon. I'm the one bringing the most money in the salon. How is the salon going to survive? Because I'm going to have a baby and not be here. So I decided, like, within 3 weeks or so of finding out that I was pregnant, that I needed to train up more of the girls to do what I done, make sure everyone was definitely on my standards, so it didn't matter what client went to who, they would still be happy. And I stopped doing clients 3 months into being pregnant, so I transferred all of my client base.
Didn't get used to it.
Yeah,
that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I didn't lose any clients, thank God. And I never really went back to doing treatments again after that. I dip in at Christmas time. I'm a single mum, so when Lola did start seeing her dad at some point a while ago, I would think, oh God, what am I going to do with myself? So I would, like, go in and work and do treatments again. But from the year ago, I haven't done any treatments, so I've completely stepped back again, which I think is important to make a salon or business successful. I was a single mum at 10 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
So I'd done the whole pregnancy alone, and great experience, really. Sad but good. Like, it's sad at the point of when you're growing, you've got no one there to experience that with you. When I went to scans, I had my dad with me, which thank God, but you know, it's completely different to having a partner. When I was worried I was going to labour or my waters broke, like, I didn't have that person there. When I give birth, I didn't have that person there, so that was really sad. But then to experience that pregnancy and having it all to myself at the same time was really nice. And I did love pregnancy. Like,
did you?
I absolutely loved it. Like, I would be a surrogate for someone.
Oh my God. And, guys, I hope you're listening to this. Katie loves being pregnant.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, by the end,
did you have
a
good pregnancy then, I'll take it?
Yeah, I had it ups and downs, but the stories I hear, I definitely had it easy compared to some people. And
do you think your tolerance levels are quite high though?
Yeah.
I think you take things in your stride really well, don't you?
Yeah. I won't let anything knock me.
Yeah.
So we'll try not to. I've been close to many times, but I do come across quite strong. I guess I am. So when I was obviously pregnant, I was like, okay, well, I'm like, got to smash it even more than I'm smashing it now, because I've got a little girl on the way. So you raised your game even higher. Yeah. And business actually grew while I was pregnant and after I had Lola, because I was managing the business completely different to when I didn't have her, because I have less time, I needed to spend time with her, so I needed to manage the business completely different, and that really worked, so I'm so grateful for that. And the first few months when you obviously just had a baby, not feeling quite up to it, how is the salon still going? Has Chloe been appointed at now? Yeah, actually when I was pregnant and when I had Lola, I actually had 2 salons. I had hairdressers as well. Okay. I always forget that, but I had a hairdresser as well. I sold that a few years back. Hairdressing just wasn't my thing. But that was a successful business as well. So I was actually running 2 salons at the time and a training academy. So I was pretty busy, but I didn't have that whole 9 months off maternity. No, you got no chance. What time did you? It's good to know. What kind of time did you take off actually? None. Literally till you gave birth. No, I remember going into the salon. I was induced 2 weeks early, so I remember going into the salon the day before. I was induced, not necessarily working, but I'd always have to be there or be somewhere. Like, no way am I sitting at home. That's just not happening. Okay. So still get ready in the morning and get yourself out there. Okay. And then when I had Lola, I remember having to have a staff meeting with someone like 3 or 4 days in after having given birth. Wow. And I was dealing with... Did you put the baby with you? Stuff then. Yeah, I'd take her with me. Yeah. She was used to, and she still is now, she used to go into the salons. She's used to come into meetings with me. She knows how to act when she's in the workspace, and then we'll always do something fun after, so she doesn't think, oh, I'm going to work again with mum. Like, she always gets something at the end, so it'll be we'd go to bounce, or we might go to the zoo, or whatever. Like, there will always be something I do, otherwise I'd feel awful. Yeah. So she'll always have that, but now she's 4, she loves it. Like, she loves... She's don't know anything different, does she? No, she's got a little area in the salon which she calls her salon. She makes everyone go in. She makes everyone take their shoes off and paints their nails. She does her own nails. So she's a little bit more louder and a little bit more mouthier now she's 4. So I actually have to take her in less now she's older, because she rules the roost.
So was there any time when Lola was born did you feel the guilt that comes with working and leaving your child behind? Did you have that? I know you took her most time because it's your own business, so those are the perks of having your own. But at the same time, you have to work more, and there's no mat leave here. I take it. No such thing as mat leave. You just went in.
Yeah, the guilt happens every single day.
Does it?
Even to this point.
How do you manage that?
I have to look at all the good points and what our lifestyle is, and we could only have our lifestyle if it means mum is working. And she knows that now as well. She's had conversations with me of, Mummy, can you get off your phone? Mummy, do you have to work today? And then I'll have to explain to her, like, I don't sit on my phone talking to my friends. I wish I was. So I'm working when I'm on my phone. And Mummy has to go to work today. And I'll say, that holiday you went on last month, or the clothes that you're wearing today, or like the food that you eat, it's because Mummy works, like, and we have to do that to survive. And she turned around and she's like, oh, I think you better go back to work then.
That was quick and simply explained.
And she's so used to me working or her coming with me and our lifestyle that she doesn't really question it now. But even like yesterday, I ended up having a phone meeting, which was before school run, and it was the one day of the week that she wasn't at after school club. So, and I love them days because it's only like 1 or twice a week where she's not at after school club, so I can pick her up at 3:15, and this call coming at 2:30. He was like, I won't be long, blah, blah, blah. So we're on the phone, I'm looking at the time thinking, God, it's 3:15.
That panic, isn't it? I know.
So I like chipped it to the school. I wasn't late because I was literally round the corner. But then she comes out of school and I'm on the phone because I'm in, it was actually an interview for a TV show. So it's not like I could be like, call you back later. It was really important. So I was like, got her out of school, so I'm still on the phone, and she's like, Mum, and I'm like, oh my God. So just 1 minute. Got her in the car, and because I was on the phone too long with this producer, she fell asleep. And I felt so guilty. And I drove home and I tried to wake her up in the car, and then, this is really bad, but it's the God's honest truth, I thought, I need to now send this producer on the phone to all these details that he wanted. If I do it now and wake her up, then I'm not going to be able to do it till much later, and I really need to get over to this guy. So I sat in the car for like an extra half an hour, knowing she's napped, she ain't going to sleep tonight.
Exactly.
No
Those are other things that you're now starting to worry, aren't you? Yeah.
But I need to get this email across. So I stayed in the car with her fast asleep while I've done these emails. And then the whole time I'm like, okay, this is the best situation because she doesn't know I'm working right now. But then I was like, now she's going to be up all night. So I was like, oh God, so I was riddled with guilt to the point where she was up all night. She watched Love Island with me. As you do. I thought, oh God, I can't believe what she's like. I don't like this couple, Mum. Oh, I like this couple. I'm like, you're 4 years old.
That one phone call and the repercussions are continuing throughout the night.
So be it.
But this is real stuff, isn't it? This is what you just explained, and I really appreciate your honesty here. But this is what happens.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? Because you do have your own business. You can't just tell this producer to go away, because obviously this looks like some kind of, you've been interviewed for something. Or,
yeah, and I can't drop that opportunity because you don't know how it's going to, and I've got to think, it's going to impact the business, but actually mine and Lola's life, it might be a really good thing for our life. So I can't like be like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
It's just something that had to happen yesterday. But the guilt's all the time, like all the time. I stopped working weekends, so I don't work weekends. But then last weekend I did have to cover a training course for a Saturday, and it's the first weekend I had to work in a long time.
Okay, so you've got weekends are together.
Yeah, they're always together.
Okay.
But then she was like, oh, it's not school tomorrow because we haven't had 2 days together. And I was like, it is school tomorrow.
Oh, she knows the routine really well, doesn't she?
She's a routine girl, definitely. So yeah, we're there, but you just got to think of the positives of why you work and what you get for that. So for us, like my thing and her thing is we go away a lot.
Oh, do you?
We'll try and go away around 5-6 times a year.
Okay. Where'd you go?
Dubai's our favourite place.
Okay.
We're going to Abu Dhabi in a few weeks.
Okay.
So now she's in school, I have to do it obviously around school term. So when it's the school holidays, more than likely we're out of the country. But then the reason for that is my
quality
team.
time together.
No, not to contact me when I'm on holiday.
So you're quite disciplined like that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll still do the odd important email that comes through. I've got an assistant that takes care of all of my stuff when I really want to take my hands off everything. So us going away is our quality time, and she loves it. Like she's got to experienced so much stuff in her life already.
In 4 years already, yeah, exactly. And you made that happen.
Yeah, and I have to be so
Amazing.
grateful for that, and
Absolutely.
actually so proud of myself that I've been able to do that for her. So that's why mummy works.
So that's why there are some side effects, but that's how you manage it.
Yeah.
You manage it as and when it happens. You try to not do it because your intention was to go pick her up at 3:15.
Yeah, I was
But
really looking
all
forward
these
to
things
it.
happen, exactly. All these things happen in the way.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So self-care then. So from where I'm sitting, you look amazing, or like, you know, that looks like you look after yourself. But I'm
Thank
sure
you.
there's a little secret behind there. How do you actually manage your self-care?
5:30 startups. So I will wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Every day, regardless of weekend?
Not weekends.
Okay.
No, I'm
Thank God I
staying
heard
in
that.
bed
Yes,
on weekends.
I love lying in the weekend. I'm same. I get up at 4:30, so I know where you're coming from.
On a Sunday, sometimes we aren't out of bed till like 11 o'clock, and
Yeah.
I don't feel guilty for that.
No, exactly.
We like that time. So, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I will work out, even if that's just 15 minutes, half an hour.
Okay.
It's better than nothing.
What kind of workout do you do?
Well, I love the gym, but it's just not possible, again, being a single mum. When I was buying my house, we had a stopgap where we had to go to my parents for 6 months. So at 5:30, I was at the gym every morning because
You could,
someone could
yeah,
look
watch
after
your daughter,
her.
yeah.
Now it's impossible. So I love putting on Amazon Prime, workout DVDs, and just smashing them out. Like, I absolutely love that.
Awesome.
I've had personal trainers in the past where they'll give you workout plans every day and that type of thing. So I'm into my fitness. I do
Monday to
slack
Friday.
every now and then, but
Yeah.
I'm into my fitness. And then I will always, even since the day she was born, make sure I put my face and makeup on and do my hair.
Okay.
It's just always been important to me.
Yeah.
If I don't do that, I feel rubbish. And that affects my whole day, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
Because when you catch yourself in the mirror and think, I can't believe I look like that, or just that mum stereotype of, I don't have time to get ready in the morning. Yes, you do. Like, you can get up at half an hour earlier than your children.
You have a choice. Everyone can make
Exactly.
a choice. Yeah.
So that's my choice to do that. And I guess, again, because I do have the businesses and there is this perception of,
Yeah, there's an
KG,
image
the
that goes
salon
with it.
owner,
Absolutely.
I've got
Yeah.
to carry on that look and that image.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there days you go without all of it? The weekends?
Yeah, sometimes like on a Sunday if we're having a day in, like I just put my jogging bottoms on and bung my hair up, and I love them days. But sometimes, even if I'm working from home, I still make sure I'm ready.
It's a different, because it's like almost been set up to do that job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you want to work out, if you don't go into your gym outfit or you don't wear like the sports bra, mentally you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're just going to slack, or you're going, I can't do this because, you know, I haven't got the right bra on, I haven't got the right leggings on, and sometimes it doesn't quite work out in pyjamas. So it's that the mindset changes when you change.
Definitely.
Or you make up or whatever you do
Yeah.
to make yourself feel comfortable and confident for the day ahead.
Definitely. And if I wake up and I do put my tracksuit on, or say like you was gonna do work in your pajamas because you can, because no one's seeing you, I just think automatically you will feel that bit more lazy. You won't be as productive. Not everyone, but for me.
Yeah.
And then if I do still put my work suit on or dress up, even if I'm at home, I know I'm going to boss it even more because I look that way, I feel that way. It just helps me.
Helps you too.
And even if I don't get up earlier than Lola, she knows mummy goes in the bathroom and does her makeup. If most of the time it means she sits with me and does it.
Yeah.
She wanted a
mini
makeup station for Christmas, and that's what she got.
Yeah, absolutely. She's going to follow what you're doing, isn't she?
Yeah, and I just think it's important that she sees that I do get ready in the morning too. And so she is very much, she gets up, she wants to get dressed straight away. It's exactly the same routine that she's in.
Wow. So how do you look after yourself in terms of nutrition?
Well, that's a different
Did you go through a
subject.
journey?
The what?
Did you go through a journey of sometimes missing meals, or because you're so busy, is that your priority, or how do you manage?
I'm a massive foodie, so I love food. But then, say for example, people that I work with will be cake never eats. So when I'm in the salon, they feed me, like they provide me just tea all the time. Like they really look after me, bless them. Because they know when I'm in work mode, I don't eat, I don't drink, because I'm just so stuck. Like you won't see me take a break. That's just how I work, as bad as it is, and wouldn't recommend it to anyone. And then if I'm not a cook, I'm definitely not no housewife, most probably why I'm single. I'll cook and provide for Lola, obviously, but her food and my food is completely different. I'm not going to be making a full meal. So what I do now is every single morning we have breakfast together before the school run. That's our thing, and no one disturbs that. And then at lunch, I either have a Slim Fast shake because it's just easy for me, or a prep meal. Okay. And at night, I'll have a prep meal. So I order my prep meals in from Company Milton Keynes, actually.
Okay.
Game Changer Kitchen.
Game Changer, yeah. They were part of this, I think, once.
Oh, were they? I'm
not
sure.
Game Changer, because they used to provide food, or they still do, to a like a reboot.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever been to that.
Yeah,
reboot
I haven't been.
Yeah,
I've heard
they
them talk
provide.
about it.
Yeah, that's right. They provide food for them.
So I live off prep meals because if I.
That's pretty good because it's quite balanced.
It's balanced.
It's quite clever to actually, rather than skipping meals, you've got something ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always have a Slim Fast shake in my bag, and I'll always have a prep meal in the week. At weekends, I refuse to cook, I refuse to have a prep meal, we'll always eat out or get a takeout. Mm-hmm. That's just our weekends.
Yeah, that's your relaxing time.
Yeah. And if I don't have the prep meals, what happens is I binge because I can't bother to make anything.
Yeah, so you're going to go and pick on things.
Yeah, so I'll pick or a snack. So I'm very careful with my food shopping that I just haven't got a load of rubbish in.
Yeah, great. Is that how you make sure that it's not there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very much black and white with you, isn't it? It's like, I don't want to eat this, I'm not going to bring it in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it in and then have this temptation and use my energy to battle with this particular chocolate or crisp or whatever it could be.
Because I'm a crisp girl. So, for example, if I'm feeling like a bad week when it comes to eating, I will go to the shop and I will buy 3 massive bags of crisps because I don't know which flavour to have. I will eat all 3 bags within like 2 days.
Yeah. I totally know where you're coming from.
And then you feel really rubbish after. Why did I even do that? Like, I'm not strong when it comes to the food.
No, I don't think many people are. No, many women are they?
I'm really bad. Like, I'm such a foodie. So it's just... Yeah, so that's why going out for meals and stuff at the weekend is so important to me. I've been so deprived of food all week.
Yeah, you've been having the set meals. These set meals are quite nice, aren't they, though?
Yeah.
Really tasty.
They're really nice.
But they are portion controlled, aren't they?
Small.
Yeah, they are small, exactly. Yeah, but they just do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a system in how you are sort of keeping the weight in place and your exercise in place because it works for you.
Yeah.
And that's good that you're able to do that rather than just be wishing, I want to have this kind of body. You're not wishing, you're making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I wish my body was a lot better than what it is. Like, there's parts of me that I hate. I can't stand my stomach. Or when I go on holiday in a few weeks' time, I know I'm going to have body, like, hiccups when I'm there because I hate being in a bikini. Like, so there's always things for improvement. But then how do
you deal with that? Because a lot of women listening to this, so many people struggle to wear a bikini and have that body, and it's not other people looking at them, it's them themselves, isn't it? It's your own confidence with your body rather than other people saying anything to you.
Yeah.
But we think other people looking at us thinking, why have you got this on? You don't deserve to be in this bikini.
I definitely think that the whole world's looking at me thinking that, oh God, look at this or look at that, and I'm so conscious. But I'm starting to love myself more now. Like, at the end of the day, if I hated it that much, I'd do something extra about it.
So how did you start to love it? That's that point there. What do you do? What do you tell yourself that people listening will really resonate with? Because so many women try so many different things. Deprivation constantly. Deprive just to get to their body that they want to.
Yeah.
But at the end up binging because actually deprivation doesn't lead to... It just leads to binging, really.
Yeah, it
because
does.
you tell someone not to do something, even to a child, like Lola, don't do that. Lola's going to actually do that because her mind is registering, do it.
Yeah.
And you see that, a repeated behaviour. What do you tell yourself? Because that word you just said, I have started to love myself. Is that a lot of inner thinking that you've been doing?
Thinking, podcasting, reading. I think if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. And
so some self-development, some self-journey you've gone on.
Yeah, definitely. I've done a lot of that over the last year or so. Obviously, I'm a single girl, so I want to start dating this year. I want to possibly find the person that I want to be with forever. Like, that would be the ultimate dream for me, especially to like kind of finalise our little family that we've got. So I've got to start loving myself. That will always hold me back to when you start seeing each other like closer up and things like that. Like it's just you just gotta love yourself. And like I said, if I hated myself all the time when I feel like that, then I'd do more about it. So I can't hate it that much.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got a bit of acknowledgement on your own self, thinking this is who I am, this is where I'm at.
Definitely.
Did you find that you said about your stomach, did you find that because after having children, after having your daughter, was that why, or you always didn't like your stomach?
I've never liked it. It's always been like, in your family you always have like the same
genes,
legs.
your genes, isn't it?
Yeah. For our family, it's always been our stomachs. But it was definitely not what it is like now, because obviously I've had a baby. Yeah. So, but then a lot of that then comes to posture. Yeah. So like I can be sometimes quite slouchy, so obviously my stomach's going to look rubbish. Whereas if you hold yourself up better, then obviously it doesn't. But then I've got to love myself as in the way where actually my stomach's like that, or I might have stretch marks on my stomach because I had a baby. Like that was part of her growing in me, and I have to remember that, and I love that. Yeah. Like they're the marks of pregnancy.
And that's amazing, because so you have moments like that, but you can talk yourself out of the negativity into more positivity.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Amazing.
Otherwise you'd be emotional wreck, wouldn't you? You'd hate yourself.
And that confidence is going to knock your business, your relationships, everything it impacts. So you touched a little bit on about starting to date. How do you make time for this? I take it you haven't made any time in the past, or have you had a little bit of a dating and it didn't quite work out because you're very busy?
Yeah, I mean, I've dated in the past. I've been single for a long time now, so I've dated, I've had like relationships here and there that aren't really serious. Dating's hard, as a mum and as a business owner, and then obviously being on your own. So I won't let anyone look after Lola other than my parents. So I will rely on them for a night off. Tonight I actually have a date. I'm gonna.
Oh, fantastic! Amazing.
So, my parents are having Lola, and I will go out. So that's. I will make sure I make time for that now, whereas before it was just no, I need to be with Lola.
Okay.
But I'm at the point now where actually no, it's okay for her to stay around her grandparents. They love it. She loves it.
Exactly.
Like they've been my rock through the whole pregnancy and the whole of having Lola. She loves it there. So because you battle with the skill. Okay, I'm working all the time. Then when I've got her, I'm going on a date.
What kind of what kind of mum am I? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
But not really, because you need your time.
You need your time. Yeah. And what I will always remember, I used to talk about this to my mum as well, like, because when I first fell pregnant, she was like, I know you've always wanted a baby, but when she or he arrives, you will want more than that as well.
Yeah.
Like, your children don't really define who you are. And one day they are going to grow up, and they are going to leave you, and then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I do think
you can't stop everything, and I think some women do tend to stop everything until the kids are a certain age, because that's how they feel comfortable, and I understand that, because we've all done some of that, like, no, we don't want anyone else to look after our kids. But actually when we start releasing that little bit and giving ourselves a bit of space, and allowing other people to come into our life, in particular with yourself, dating, because relationships are important, do you think?
Very important. Yeah. Very important, especially when you're on your own so much. So even though I have an amazing team of people, I surround myself with like gorgeous people, I've got friends, family, etc., it's still so lonely.
They're not coming back with you.
No.
They're not, they're not going to listen.
I shut the door with just me and Lo. She goes to bed at 7. Yeah. I'm on my own. Like, I'm on my own a lot. So to have a partner there, I literally I would love it.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been the right time up until now, and now I feel ready. I feel like you can't go into a relationship unless you're not 100% ready.
Yeah.
Like I said, loving yourself more, like feel that you could let someone in completely.
Yeah.
Because especially I wear my heart on my sleeve, I need to be fully invested in someone. And I feel that that's possibly my time now, whereas before it definitely wasn't.
Yeah. So once you feel ready, you then put it out to universe for that right person to come forward.
Yeah.
When before you weren't ready, those things probably weren't happening.
Yeah.
Or they were happening, but things were not working out.
Definitely.
So you feel like you're ready to engage in this part of your life.
Definitely.
Amazing. Awesome. How do you plan? Do you use kind of a Google Calendar? What do you do to make sure you are every single thing that's met in a day?
My calendar on my phone is my saviour. Without that, I would be really screwed. I will have every single day, like if you looked at my calendar, it gives most people anxiety because there's dots everywhere. Yeah. But it gives me great pleasure ticking off or deleting them parts of the diary. Every day, like this morning I made sure I'd done most of my stuff this morning so then I could come today, I can go to the salon later without knowing I've got all this stuff hanging over my head, and a lot of the time I'll work later through the night to then have an easier day the next day. But planning is key for me, structure is key for me, and my diary, and I do have an assistant as well because I'm so busy, so she helps me with my diary too. So yeah, that's planning's key.
Do you plan any particular day? Like on a Sunday you sit down and plan, or is there a...
It just comes in as and when. So if something comes in today, I'll just put that a slot, for example, on Wednesday.
So sort of planning is daily,
so
really?
Definitely daily. I couldn't do the whole, sit down on Sunday and plan my week, because my schedule's so far in advance. Okay. So when things come in, it just means I'm shooting through my diary, seeing where I could slot that in and add that in the diary. As long as it's in the calendar, it's getting done.
Awesome. And so the bigger plan is to have more training coming. You want to go towards more training? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, more training. So at the moment we're recruiting for more trainers nationwide, so different locations, rather than, we've got 2 locations at the moment, which is Gloucestershire and Luton for our training academies. So we want more trainers coming on board. I don't know if we'll open up more salons or not, I'm not sure. Part of me, especially this year, because I've had such an intense year last year, I'm more wanting to concentrate on me, Lola, and what we have now with the businesses.
Rather than opening more and expanding.
Yeah. I always stretch myself really thin, so I'm always opening up more businesses. I'm always bringing in more ideas or changing something. And I thought, no, this year I'm just going to have a smooth year. I say this, next week I'll mostly invest in something. I have the plan in my head. In my head at the moment, that's the plan. And then the business mentoring side of things is obviously my newfound passion, so I absolutely love that. You're loving
that, aren't you? Yeah.
So more masterminds, events, public speaking, that type of thing. So
you do public speaking?
Yes.
Okay, where have you spoken so far?
World Lash University, which is a lash-based conference. I've spoken at Olympia Beauty, which is a trade show in London. Networking places where they've needed speakers, colleges. I go around and do motivational speaks at colleges, various things like that.
Do you get nervous when you're about to go on stage?
Oh, I poop myself.
Do you?
Yeah, to the point where I'm like, the day before, I'm like, do I cancel this?
Yeah. Why am I putting myself through this?
But I never say no. I feel like even though I hate it, I've actually had what's it called, hypnotherapy for public speaking.
Have you? Oh my god, you didn't tell me about this. How does that work? Did it work?
Yeah, I think so. Well, actually, I think I'm doing quite good at this podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's you're just flowing there through. In terms of standing in front of people.
Yeah, I think
there is a physiological changes on your body where the hands are sweaty, with
hands
the armpits,
sweaty. I will mostly be in the toilet before the talk.
That's it.
I feel that I can't get my words out right, which I'm still actually like that. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I do get my talk modelled up and stuff like that. Like, I've just done it then. Like, it just happens. It's just me. But I would never, even though I hated it, I still would never say no. Like, I still push myself.
It's that side of you, like, I'm going to do it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes and then worry about it
after. I would just, and I won't plan nothing.
Yeah.
I won't ever plan a talk. I just go up there and...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you tell the story?
Because it comes from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think if it's everyone works differently, but for me, it's better not to plan and then do it on the day and it comes from the heart. I might have quick notes.
Yeah. Things that you want to cover.
Yeah, but otherwise I don't do no planning.
Do you do Q&As at the end?
Sometimes. But the hypnotherapy worked loads because I hated that feeling before a talk. I haven't actually done a talk since the hypnotherapy, but I have done a lot of podcasting and stuff. You have
your own podcast show, I believe.
Yeah, The Life of KG. It's industry based, but a lot of businesses that aren't in the industry listen as well and get really good feedback, so that's good. I think it's definitely helped.
What did they do? Like, what's the process of hypnotherapy?
So it wasn't just hypnotherapy, it's called something else and I can't remember at the top of my head what it was, but she basically took me under into hypnotherapy and she takes you back to points in your life of where you've been triggered on whatever that is, and when you're under hypno, it's amazing the things that you think of that you had no idea of why you are who you are today. So there was an incident that come in for me of when I was surrounded by the bullies. So that was because my hypnotherapy was all about public speaking, but then why I care about so much about what people think of me.
It's all linked, isn't it?
It's all linked.
Yes.
So the 3 points for me were the bullies. So remembering that exact moment of them surrounding me, so that was one of my points. So obviously that was my self-doubt and everything for me. The other point was sitting on my sofa when I was 10 weeks pregnant, telling Lola's father to leave and wanting to be a single mum and making that decision. And that was, again, worried, what are people going to think of me? I'm pregnant and single, like, how am I going to deal with that? So it was another moment. And then another moment was something going on with a team member at the time that affected me so big back then. So again, it was all to do with confrontation and what people think of me. And so to clear that, like, helped so much. So she takes you under, she brings it out, like, you're crying, like, you go in a state. Yeah, it's really, really emotional. I was a state.
Well, so when she takes you back, you're literally there. You felt like you were surrounded. You can feel the presence.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really crazy, and because when you're hypnotised, your eyes are closed and your head's down, and you can't physically open your eyes even though you're sobbing.
Wow.
Like, it was really powerful. And then she would do a recording that you have to listen to every day for like 30 days, and even though that 30 days is done, I still listen to it. Like, it actually makes me go to sleep now, otherwise I'll be up. So yeah, really, really,
it's like
powerful.
affirmation type things.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really helped, isn't it? It's just a mindset.
Yeah, it is just mindset.
Worrying about something, actually, what you're thinking about, the people that are looking at you, that's not what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They're like, well, tell us what you want to tell us, you know. But we're thinking, you're judging me, you're looking at me, you think I'm big, you think I'm small, you think my hair's like that, everything.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't know what you think. I don't know what I'm talking about, and all of those can set in, can't they?
Yeah, definitely.
It is one of the most scariest things to do, public speaking, I must say. And you only know it, and anyone listening to this, if you know it, and most of actually people have come here are speakers, and you only know the feeling unless you don't know it unless you do it.
Yes.
You literally are. You're not. For you to feel the physiological symptom, you have to stand up in front,
definitely,
and then deliver some kind of a talk.
I had one public speaking event. It was very, very small, and actually Debbie from the hub was there. And it was like the second or third time that I'd met Debbie, and you had to go up and tell your story. And I remember I prepped for this one. Because someone I was speaking to back then is a good friend of mine. He's in public speaking as well. So he told me about how to talk about when you were younger and use it in like, so it wasn't you. So I knew a little girl that was going through this rather than I went through this.
Okay.
And I thought, let's give that a go because that sounds quite powerful. Well, bloody start broke it down and crying.
Did you actually on stage?
On stage.
I bet that came across quite powerful though, didn't it?
Well, maybe, but I felt like I couldn't do a speak again. I literally was so embarrassed, but I couldn't hold it back. And like, it's all because I was talking about this little girl getting bullied, thinking, oh, this will be easier to do it like this.
Because it's not me, it's someone else.
It's not me. And it was.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because then at the end of telling that story, I was like, and that little girl was me. That little girl was me, and I literally burst out crying.
So you finished it?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, well done. Wow.
So, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
What did you get? Did you get any feedback about that?
I think everyone just felt sorry for me. Luckily, it was a very intimate gig, that one. Okay. Thank God. It wasn't hundreds of people, but yeah, I won't use that trick again. It works for him, not me.
I think just that, what you just did there, so many people relate to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a brave thing to do, but I think you couldn't even control it. You tried to control it, you tried to hold it in, but sometimes that comes out and it's just a human thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looking back, actually, that's probably could be one of your best moments there.
Yeah.
Because other people might have been quite affected by it in a good way.
Yeah.
They're like, if she can speak up about it, then that means I can. And if she can get over it, and look at her now, then maybe I have hope as well. You know, people of victims of abuse and all kinds of bullying, and people hold it all in here, but it keeps affecting their daily life. Yeah. But they don't bring it out because they think this is just my past, but actually it's manifesting in other ways that they probably don't see it in their behaviours or their relationships are. Yeah. But I think that was a great thing that you did. Amazing. Yeah. Really, really good.
It put me off for a while. I just thought every speech I'm going to just burst out crying, but I haven't since, so lucky.
What's your biggest fear? You can't say public speaking because you've got over that one.
Failure.
Okay.
I put a lot of pressure on myself all the time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from the perception of who I am as well. People have a view of what I am or what I should become or what's next. So there's always a pressure of what's next, what you're going to do next. And it's just a lot of pressure. And then with risk comes with failure, and failure is definitely my worst fear, but then you can only learn and grow from failure at the same time.
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
So when you have failed in the past, you have learned from it.
Definitely.
And grown even bigger in terms of your businesses. And amazing. What would you say to women listening to this? They've got passion, they've got a gift, but they're too frightened to take that next step, and they're probably stuck in a job they don't like.
Just go for it. Find out what you're passionate about, because without passion you can't do it. And just give it a go. Surround yourself with like-minded people that aren't going to hold
really
you back.
That's really important, isn't it?
Really important. Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Did you come across people that were adverse to what you were doing, telling you this is never going to work?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's not even like a bad point for them or anything. They're just not
looking
that,
out for you.
yeah, and they're not minded like I am. They're not maybe business minded, they're not risk takers, and that's fine, but you have to surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to push you to that next level. And that's so important, and feeding yourself all the time with the content you need. So I live on listening to podcasts, reading. Like, I won't be in my car and listen to the radio. Some people might think that's really sad, but I don't want to put that into my head. It's like, I want to learn, or exactly. I want to motivate myself or progress myself more. So I'm constantly inhaling everything
You're just absorbing, aren't you?
All the time.
What is your favourite podcast?
Mine? No.
Of course. After that.
How I Built This.
Oh, I love that. It's amazing. That's just
when you're having a really bad time in business, like, it is such a good podcast to listen to, because it has so many like super successful people on it.
Yeah, 100%.
No one has a smooth journey, and it's sometimes, like, even though you know that, it's good to just rehear it from someone who's way up there.
Yeah, definitely.
So How I Built This, I'd say, is my like number one, and also Life of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett.
Okay.
He is a massive business owner in the like media world, and he's always telling his story of being a CEO, and it's like really
the challenge
good.
that he goes through,
and no matter what podcast you put on, it will relate somehow. So I love that. So anything that's really real, I love.
Because the life of CEO is quite lonely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you said that before. So these kind of things really help to remember that actually there's other people that are in a similar situation. It almost makes you feel good straight
Definitely,
away.
because even like if you do have a partner, they might not still understand.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And that I was going to ask you that actually, and we would just jump to something else. Is, do you ever worry about meeting someone who perhaps isn't as successful as you are? How would that work? Do you ever worry about that?
I think that's why most of my relationships haven't lasted. For me, I don't care what job they do, how much they earn, where they live. It's not really a big thing to me, as long as we want the same things or we've got the same morals. But then somehow money or materialistic things or the way my lifestyle is always gets in the way. So they will love it that we do this and we do that, but then they feel under pressure or they intimidated a lot of the time. So then they'll be like, I've had, say for example, one person I dated ended things because it's like, I'm never going to be able to keep up with you. Like, and for me, I think that's really sad, because I don't want them to keep up with me. I just want us to have fun and just do normal things. But they constantly feel that they have to be as successful or be better or earn more. And I would never put that pressure on someone, because for me it's not that. I just want companionship and build a family and someone to talk to and that type of thing. But
why do you think that happens?
I really don't know.
I think is it like a man in the society has been put on a certain pedestal, and they think they must provide.
I think a lot of it's to do with that.
Yeah.
A lot of men, I don't think would mind, mostly with the people that I meet and do, but a lot of it does come down to intimidation, or they feel that they have to keep up. Whereas, say for example, holidays, like, I can go on holiday, just me and Lola. I don't need that person to come on holiday and put pressure on them that they have to come. Yeah. But then they would feel like that they have to come, or
they want to come.
They want to come, or they wouldn't be able to keep up with that. or they don't understand when I am working at night time, or I am getting up early in the morning, or they don't understand why I don't want to binge TV. Like, I would rather do something else. Like, I would never stop that person watching TV or whatever they want to watch, but I would rather sit there on the sofa with them, but on my laptop. I don't see what the big problem is.
So you feel you have that flexibility to offer, but that person isn't quite as flexible. They think, we need to be doing everything either together, or I need to bring in exact same money as Katie's bringing in, or have same lifestyle, go on all the same holidays. And that will stop you kind of almost feeling good about your own success, isn't it?
Definitely.
That's what must be quite hard, really, for you, unless they're in the same capacity as you are. But also, even within that, people have what kind of habits would they have? Would you, you know, what could you not live with, for example? What if they sat down and watched, I don't know, on Love Island every night, and you're like, it's not my thing. You know, how do you plan to?
If someone says don't mind me doing something else, then I haven't got a problem with what they want to watch.
So you're happy to let them live the way they are,
100%.
As long as you're allowed to live how you are.
Yeah, we're not going to like all the same things, and I don't think it's healthy that we do like all the same things and do everything together. Like, and I'm quite happy with being with them there, as long as they're happy with me doing my thing or watching my thing. Like, it is really hard. It's all down to compromise.
It is. It's very, very hard, because my ex-husband, we both had very different ways of living. I had postnatal depression, and after having my second child, I started to run to heal, so I could come off antidepressants. And because I was running so much, I got addicted to it. It was a little bit unhealthy, really. I lost loads of weight, looked gaunt, and everyone was commenting, "What's wrong with you?" And my husband will sit and watch TV, cricket, and he will maybe have a few biscuits. And I used to think, this used to be putting me off. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you not doing what I'm doing? Or, you know, it's really hard when the other, although he's doing what he always does. Well, why am I being like that? But at that time, I thought, no, you're just not interested in your health, and I can't deal with this. This is just too difficult. You've got completely different interests, and think people part as a result of people changing. Now I'm married to someone who's got very similar interest as me, and I find that easy. But when he doesn't, I find that really hard. So, for example, every Friday night we have a date night. Every Friday night, regardless of what goes on in planet Earth, it doesn't get cancelled. We're very particular about it, just because we want to water the plant, as we call it, the relationship. And we have Ben and Jerry's, and we have a little bit of cheese on our food. You know, and normally the whole week is quite healthy. But when it comes to picking a movie, I want to watch chick flick. I can't stand the movies with guns and horror. and he's like, oh my God, are you really going to pick this one? Oh my God, you know. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't watch that. It makes me feel sick. It's just fake. It's fake. You know, it's just noises and people killing each other. I can't deal with this. So we sit there, we have a little bit of like the argument. And then what we've decided is 1 week he can pick one, and the next week. But even how do I sit through that? I'm like, I can't do this. So now we've decided together, let's pick one that we both like. So we've now exhausted Adam Sandler movies, because we've come to a conclusion that this movie, actually we can both watch and we can both laugh. We'll try and find something of that. But then we can move forward from this particular point. Otherwise you're just stuck, and you're like, well, it's my Friday night, and I work really hard all week, and I'm really...
We would love to hear what you thought about this episode.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Please leave a review and share on social media tagging @KG Salon so we can share.
I always follow them.
Until next time, have an amazing, successful week.